we've got a lot of listeners from the US, from the UK, and something that's been coming up a lot is when, I saw an article the other day where they were simply comparing the amount of colorants in a simple bag of crisps in Europe and compared to the US, and what's permitted and what's not permitted. And Europe, I think, is leading the way in terms of, well, we have to make things as healthy as we can. When people are looking for a place to live more and more, it's about, where can I be healthy? Where can I have a long life? Not just eat well, but eat healthy. Portugal for years has always been a healthy country. If you look at the way that we eat here, the way that we serve our fish, the way that we prepare our food, this is leaning into that on another scale.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, a lot of things come to mind when you're saying that. Firstly, indeed, that Portuguese, and I appreciate that very much, tend to buy their fish really in the old-fashioned way, like looking at the glaze of the eyes, looking at the skin. It's a process that you're sort of, that's what you do with your father, buy your first fish, and then you know when it's fresh. What I see in that is that in many cases the Portuguese are very much into pure food, and I mean, I don't know if it needs to have a label in the sense that some sort of valuation to it, but a practical thing. What I learned over the years in conversations with friends is that even the fact that the country has a very low standard of living with regards to average income has made so many people resilient by adapting themselves to living almost off-grid and on their own growth of food and harvest. I'm not trying to romanticize it here too much, but it's just that it's a good way of thinking, that if you say, okay, if I live further away from town, if I live in the mountains and I can grow my own crops and I can do my own hunting and I can do my own things that provide me with pure food, you're staying away from the manufactured rubbish that indeed is full of questionable ingredients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I live up here on the Silver Coast, and I'm near to a town called Caldas de Rainha, which is still today one of the only outdoor farmers markets that's open every single day. But it's important. You see the people shopping. It's important that they know where the food came from, who picked it, and there is that. And I do think a lot of it came down to, it's a poor country. Traditionally, it's a poor country. I mean, we went to a festival this past weekend in a place called Aveiras de Cima, and it's this interior village, and it's a town where pretty much everybody who used to live in that town had their own little adega where they did their own wine. And this festival is where you go into people's garages and they've got their tanks there with their wine, and you just take some wine, you drink, you know, some of them are selling, some of them are not. And this thing of living off the land, this thing of producing for ourselves was a necessity, but was also the better way in the long run.